Last night we had the pleasure of seeing Players Theater's most recent production, 6 Characters in Search of an Author, an early 20th century play written by Italian playwright Luigi Pirandello. This dark and surrealist play, directed by McGill's own Anna Gordon, depicts the strange occurrences during one day of stage rehearsal.
With all the illusions you then had, with all the things inside and outside of yourselves as they appeared to you then.
On stage, we are presented with a cast of actors and crew, clumsily trotting through a day of rehearsal for another upcoming Luigi Pirandello production. But rehearsal is cut short with the sudden appearance of 6 masked figures who interrupt the practice and theatrically introduce themselves as 6 lost characters in search of an author. Yes, characters. Not people, not actors, characters. These characters, designated not by name but by their role in a family, continue to present their backstories, horrifying tales of betrayal, lust, and abuse. Amongst much derision from the interrupted and indignant cast, the director patiently listens to their twisted tale, captivated, as he formulates how to present these stranger stories as his new production. These characters are terrifying. They appear in classical 1920s Italian wardrobe, in accordance to when the play was originally written and performed. The stark anachronism between the modernly dressed cast and these meta-theatrical figures stuck in time for the last century proves to be quite unnerving for the cast members as well as the audience. In addition, these characters wear beautifully designed pop art masks which obscure their faces and replace their humanity with two-dimensional cutouts, as if these characters just broke free from graphic works of text.
So what was really interesting to me was to think about the fact that the characters, by being virtue of something fixed and stuck in someone's imagination, could be kind of stuck in this two-dimensional world, sort of like a comic strip that just keeps looping and looping and looping. And so that kind of informed the concept of the masks being pop art and like two-dimensional, like as though they were comic. And then in terms of the actual time and places that we chose, we realized that it would be very interesting to have this bumping heads. And so that created this interesting dialogue between old social norms versus the new, and also allowed interesting places where we could see that they were still the same, like the gender roles that we see so salient and disturbing in this play are still the same, and that was something that we wanted to try to pull out and explore a little bit more.
Players Theater is a black box theater. The division between the performance space and the audience is not at all clearly defined. 6 Characters in Search of an Author uses this fact to great effect, as the content of this play consistently conflates planes of reality, challenging the boundaries of performance spaces, as well as the nature of performance itself.
Being able to sort of talk directly to the audience is really fun, and kind of very motivating, because you really have to like force yourself to make them feel what you're feeling. Not that that's not the case in other plays, but especially so when you're talking directly to someone who's looking right at you.
Performances are strong across the board. The actors are able to deliver impassioned passages of dialogue that really sell the characters' desperate pain to be heard and recognized. The supporting cast litters the audience, providing needed comic relief from the sidelines, yet never distracting from the main event. Lighting cues set the tone whenever the characters launch into their recollections, casting a pale, familiar glow on stage whenever they start their story. The play adds another level of intrigue when it questions the boundaries and relationships between the characters and the cast and crew. As the play continues, the 6 characters aggressively and desperately descend on the director, pushing him to finish the job that their previous author was never able to complete. This production consistently questions this power dynamic, and the audience is never quite sure of who is in complete control. For, after all, is it the director who leads the characters, or the characters which drag along the director?
For me, like the most interesting movies, works of art, theater, are always the ones that sort of resonate with you and sort of stay with you for a couple of weeks after you see them. And my hope is this is that kind of show, given the subject matter. I think it is. So if you come to the show, I think you'll leave with a set of questions which are going to be really interesting to you and you'll sort of learn a lot from. And also my fellow actors in the show and all the work that's gone into it has been like really incredible. And I think it shows, like everyone's got a ton of energy, and I think it's a really fun show to attend as well. So it's worth taking a break from midterms and like just sort of sitting and engaging in it.
Besides the meta-theatrical concepts, the content of this play is quite dark. The characters are unendingly forced to retell the only story they know, a horrific tale of neglect and abuse. Each character is given the opportunity to present their perspective on the story, which complicates the audience's notions of responsibility and sympathy. It is very heavy stuff. However, it is these concepts, alongside the surreal environment and the in-depth analysis of both the medium and the psyche, which make this production of 6 Characters in Search of an Author a very memorable one. 6 Characters in Search of an Author will be playing at Players Theatre November 12th through the 15th and the 19th through the 22nd at 8 p.m. Tickets are $6 for students and available for reservation online. For TVM, this has been Courtney Kassel.